My name's Brian. Your name. Introduce yourself. Would you like to introduce yourself?
No, you can introduce me.
Okay, this is my wife, Denise. We did a video yesterday. I started off as a podcast type thing, and since I don't know what that means, we cut it off. Well, we could have kept rambling, is what we could have done. So that's why we're back. I talked her into being back again today for a few minutes of her very busy day. We are going to talk about traveling in retirement. Take it away, Denise. Go.
Are you going to ask me questions?
No, I want you to lead this. You're the travel agent. I have just come into you and I said, I'm retired. I want to go on a trip, but I don't know where I want to go. And I don't have a lot of money. It's not like I've got a bank account that can just,
Well,
I cannot fly first class.
Do you like beaches? Do you like cruises? Do you want to go to Europe? Do you want to go someplace closer in the United States? What are your interests?
Okay.
Do you like to hike? Do you like to swim?
Okay, that sounds good. In full disclosure, Denise is not a travel agent. If you YouTube it, they will come. Right? Did we get that all out of the way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in my 5 years of retirement, your 4 years, yeah, we've taken some trips that have been outside the United States, and Denise has planned them all.
I think we've been to like 27 countries maybe.
I didn't know.
I have a list upstairs. I didn't know we were going to think about that. Yeah.
27
in 4
countries.
years.
Oh, okay. So how do we do that on a mailman's budget?
Very frugally. Well, we have our 401k that helps us.
We each have a 401k that we're very similar.
And I do plan things very frugally.
Yeah, with meaning not cheap, but with attention to the budget.
So it depends what you want me to which place do you want me to talk about. Usually when we plan our travel, we know where we want to go.
Can I back it up a little bit prior to that? Denise's desire to travel is and has been stronger than mine, meaning jump on a plane and let's go halfway around the world, adventurous. That wasn't necessary. We weren't necessarily on the same page with that.
And initially that wasn't my initially. I just really wanted to go to Italy.
Yes.
And then since then,
we've enjoyed
I've been
it.
wanting to do more and more and see more continents and stuff.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always my dream to travel around the world. It started small and now it's just been building to like.
And in retirement, she has me saying, "What? Like, how much is this going to cost?" That's almost
and you don't
always.
even ask that anymore because now you know that I do it. I think pretty much cheaper than most people.
Well, what I will tell you is that 5 years in, 4 years in,
I mean,
I'm feeling more comfortable. And although it's still important to keep an eye on that budget, you shouldn't be flying all around the world or going all around the United States if it's something you can't afford.
Right.
And I've allowed myself probably in the first few years to have a sense of panic. That's probably an exaggerated word, but a sense of panic. And and maybe didn't allow myself to potentially enjoy things quite as much because I had this spot up here saying, we shouldn't be doing this. This is costing a lot of money. But
Well, the first trip that we took when we retired, well, the first year we traveled a lot.
we did.
So we did an all-inclusive in Mexico right after I retired. And then we went to Hawaii for 3 months. I had family there, so it sort of just was, we had been there before, so it just was sort of a longer trip there. And then while we were there, because I know Brian loves Hawaii so much, that we went to Hawaii.
I'm here. You could ask me if I
We
do.
went pretty frequently. Brian would want to go every winter if we could. Or Vegas. Those were his two go-tos, which I'm totally fine with. But at the same time, I'm like, I've been to Hawaii. I mean, I grew up in Hawaii. You know what I mean? I like it in the winter, but there's so many places I haven't been to. So when we were in Hawaii, I got an email about a discounted trip to the Azores, the islands off of Portugal, where my family's from. And I thought, if I don't book that thing right now, we may never go because he's going to say we don't have money, we got to do this, we got to do that. So I booked it for that May. And that was my first trip to Europe.
Outside of the United States.
Well, I mean, I went to Canada and Bahamas. But anyway, yeah, and Mexico.
Okay.
But it was the first overseas, I guess. Anyway, so we got that in, and I was like, oh, so I finally felt like, okay, I finally hit the one thing I really wanted to do was go back to my homeland. But I still wanted to go to Italy. So we discussed that we were going to go because we were retired now, and that was our time to go. And the trip I planned was like a 3 weeks all around Italy. And Brian said, well, if we're going to go to Europe, we might as well see more than just Italy.
I said that.
And I was like, okay, if you want to do that, I'm okay with that. And he wanted to do 3 months, I think, initially. And so I started looking at where I wanted to go.
It was, I mentioned that we should consider, because I knew you'd want to go back. So I thought, let's get this over and done with while we're over there. Get Italy in, fine. But go hit a couple of those others so she wouldn't go. Next year, we're going to go to Switzerland. Next year, we're going to go to Germany. Next year, we're going to, and I didn't want to do that. I thought, get it over and done with.
Little did he know that getting it over and done with just made me want to go other places other than Europe. So I still am saying, oh, I want to go here, I want to go there. It's just not in Europe anymore.
That's because we did like 65 countries in Europe.
So you're okay. Anyway, so we were planning this trip to Europe, and I narrowed it down to the places I wanted to go. And
which was every place in Europe.
No.
Close.
It was not. And I knew, as I was looking at the dates, I'm like, that's just too long. I didn't want to be gone for 3 months again. So I think we ended up going for 55 days, which was long. We had our backpacks. And so I just, I went to booking.com because that's my go-to for hotels. And I searched the area that we're going to want to sightsee in, and I looked for hotels or hostels or whatever that's in that area. So most of them weren't hotels. They were all pretty much
Airbnb, largely.
Or hostel-y types where we had our own room. There might have been a kitchen there. We had our own bathroom. So it was pretty low end, and it's Europe. So for the most part, it was pretty inexpensive.
Just a ballpark figure. Maybe $125 a night on average.
If you average the whole you have to think Switzerland was a lot. Yeah, because some places might have only been like $70 or $75, and Switzerland would have been more.
Lucerne and.
So once we were there, so what we normally do when we travel is I use Chase United miles. I use my Chase United Visa. We both do. We had been for all our expenses. We charge anything we can on that. We pay it off every month, so we just whatever we could charge, we charge instead of paying anything else. So that always gives us enough miles or enough points to take one round trip ticket or two round trip tickets to Hawaii, to Europe, to South America, to New Zealand, wherever we went. We always would have enough for both of us to fly one far trip a year.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it'd be more if we wanted to do. Anyway, so that was always our goal. So getting there was going to be cheap. Staying there was going to be cheap. And once we're there, I mean, most of the stuff we want to do are free, you know. I mean, we did some tour of museums and stuff, which weren't too expensive. But for the most part, we were going to be walking around and taking trains, and maybe the flight from Belgium to Prague was probably one of our main flights. And then from Venice no, we took the train on that one. Yeah, was that our only flight? And then we took a flight from Amsterdam to Belgium. No, that was the fast train. Anyway, I don't remember. But those might have been a little bit more expensive for a couple plane tickets. But mostly
even
we took
European,
the trains.
Even the European plane tickets were not that expensive.
Yeah, because we were doing it pretty close. And then while we were there, the one part that was probably expensive is we added on a cruise, a Mediterranean cruise that went
Adriatic Sea.
Yeah, that went to 3 of the Greek islands and Croatia and Montenegro. And we tagged that on just because it was a way to see more countries while we were there. But you know, cruises, plus, I don't know why, that was my first cruise, so I didn't really know how to look for deals and stuff. But anyway, that trip ended up being really good because, well, lots of reasons. But one of my favorite things was when we first got there, we did like 4 countries by train. Then we rented a car and we went and through the Dolomites and
Austria first.
And Lake Como. Yeah, we went to Austria, the Dolomites in Italy. We went to Lake Como. We went to Switzerland. And then we hit Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany. Dropped off our car. And then we flew to Venice where we got on the cruise. And after the cruise, we did my 3-week Italy thing.
Well, we stayed in Venice. So we hit the cities. We hit Venice for a few days.
Yeah. Well, we did 3 weeks in Italy.
Yeah.
So we trained it first. We rented a car. That part was probably more expensive because we had a daily transportation fee, and we were in more expensive. And we took a cruise, and then we went back to the trains. Anyway, so it was sort of like segregated out pretty nicely. And I mean, I wasn't on a budget, but I just did everything frugally, and I didn't think it ended up too bad, price-wise.
No, you've got that someplace, don't
I mean,
you?
yeah, I want to say that I try to average, that one might have been like average $250 a day, hotel, transportation. I might not have gotten all the food in there. And we had backpacks, so we didn't really buy any souvenirs and stuff. If we did, it was very small. And then we would ship it back to the States so that we would have lighter backpacks. But I want to say, I'll have to figure that out again with the cruise. It ended up being more, but.
Okay, and actually, I'm glad we talked about the Europe tour. And then after we get back and look at pictures, and I didn't grab the Europe book right here, but you do we like to compile everything into travel books, and you can just pull them up, and although that doesn't have the picture of us on the front, but this was the one.
This was Patagonia last February.
So you've got one from each.
So each trip we come back and I put all our photos in there. Anyway.
Okay. But I do have one good story before I don't know. Hopefully it's recording because I don't see anything on here. I do have one good story.
I already know what it is.
What is it?
The backpack story.
You mentioned backpack, and it made me
Because
remind
you
it.
weren't even there to see it, but
Okay,
this
so
is
we're,
an exaggerated
so we're at.
story.
Was the country little country was it Liechtenstein? We stopped and we had to gas up. Also, some great stories in regards to that. But we're in like a convenience store, and we're carrying. I don't know why we had our backpacks on us in the store.
Because maybe it wasn't Liechtenstein.
Well, I don't know, but either way, we had, which we've got
We're
3
on a
months worth,
train or something.
3 months worth of our stuff. So our backpacks are on us, and Denise bends down to look at something or pick something up, and her backpack was so heavy that she fell over onto her backpack like a turtle does when they fall into their shell, and she couldn't get up. She just like spinning around like a top on her backpack. She's going, Brian, I'd come around the corner, and there's this person that looks like a turtle. Denise cannot get off her back.
First of all, I can always get off my back, no matter what's on my back.
It was a turtle.
I can always get up. And Brian wasn't even there. I told him about it after the fact. Because
No,
I had
was
squatted so low that my backpack was practically touching the floor, and it was heavier than me, so it pushed me back. But I have ab muscles.
You had to be rescued. No, a turtle has ab muscles.
No, it doesn't. I can do it all by myself.
And that is the end of the story.
Ciao.
Oh,
I don't think it recorded.